Hello everyone, today I'm going to be making a video on this new gacha called Bleach Soul Resonance. Now, as always, I never accept sponsors, so don't worry, there isn't really going to be any sugarcoating here. However, I could possibly have some bias because of the fact that I've genuinely been having fun with this game, right? So Bleach Soul Resonance is, well, just a Bleach gacha game, and it has a lot of similarities to games like WUA and HSR in terms of many of its systems. So if you do come from those games from watching me on my channel, then you will probably have zero issues transitioning into this game and being able to understand the mechanics, right? It is max of 3 character teams. Characters have their own roles and their own attributes. In this game, the current 4 attributes are Slash, Thrust, Strike, and Spirit. And the roles are Support, DPS or Full Assault, and Tactic, which is basically a sub-DPS buffer, right? So those are the roles in this game. As you can see, some of your favorite characters, if you're a big Bleach fan, they're going to be releasing more soon. The next banner is Toshiro, I believe like tomorrow or in 2 days. After that it may be Gin, then it's going to be Aizen. This game has a very, very fast cycle, right? So basically, if we go over here to the gacha, banners on this game last only 2 weeks instead of the 3 weeks you may be used to, right? Now, apparently, according to a few content creators, the amount of poll income that you'll be able to consistently get every single month is around 80 to 90 limited pulls once you make it to like the end game and you're able to farm as much as possible, right? And what's really cool about this is that this game's gacha has everything guaranteed, at least on the limited banner, right? Now, you can't constantly guarantee on this normal standard character banner, but you can guarantee the standard weapon banner, you can guarantee the limited weapon banner, and you can guarantee the limited, what's it called? Character banner, right? So max 80 pity and you get a character. It's simply you hoping that you get it earlier as compared to later. And then weapon, as you may have noticed, max 40 pity. The max pity for weapons in this game is honestly incredibly low. And so with 1 patch's worth of pulls, you can guarantee a character, but with 1.5 patches worth of pulls, you can guarantee a character and their weapon, which I think is very, very cool, right? So yeah, it has a really, really solid gacha system. Limited characters are 0.8% drop rate, and limited weapons and just weapons in general are, I believe, 0.1% drop rate. So a slightly higher chance, but nothing anything all that crazy, right? Now, what about the relic system in this game? In this game, the relic system equivalent is over here in the stamps section. Now, these 3 stamp pieces right here, these are going to be the ones you're most familiar with if you play like HSR, you play WUA. These are the items you get where you try to get stats, a main stat and substats that you're really looking for, and then you invest further and further and further to see if you can keep getting the substat rolls that you want. Now, at a lower level, you're not really going to be able to go all that far with these leveling these things up, but it's more so when you get closer to endgame where I'd recommend hard farming these because they can massively increase your character performance. However, something that isn't similar to the relic system at all is these character stamps, right? So weapon stamps are a different thing on the limited banner. Character core stamps are something that you need to actually manually farm, right? So if we go over here to the battle section, then we go to trial, and we go over here to the stamp corridor. This is where you're going to be able to obtain character stamps. Now here's the thing, it is completely RNG, and the drop rate for these, 6-star stamps for specific characters is incredibly low. Okay, it is very, very low. So this is probably going to be the #1 thing hindering free-to-play players from being able to progress immensely fast as compared to like low spenders or whales, is that the low spenders and whales can gain way more access to these corridor keys, which will allow them to get an insane boost over the free-to-play players, even if it's just temporarily, right? I'll show you guys an example over here. Basically, the amount of corridor pieces that free-to-plays can get consistently, not including the story, is you can buy them with jades over here. You can get a few from the battle pass free-to-play. Yeah, you get like 2 every here and then every 10 levels around there. And you as well get some of these corridor pieces by maxing the stars on story levels, and as you can see, you get 2 for the 2-star and the 3-star, right? Same applies to the hard mode, and same applies to the extreme mode. So the corridor keys will have a pretty steady income at the beginning as a new player, but once let's say you've been playing the game a month, you're hitting a wall, you're no longer progressing through the story or leveling up as much, that's going to mean that you're getting significantly less corridor pieces, and free-to-plays aren't going to like that, right? Oh yeah, the other place where you can attain these corridor pieces is in Battle Rewind. This is like your weekly boss type thing, and you can get it from here as well. However, that's it. Now, you guys will notice I said low spenders had a massive advantage, and that's quite obvious over here. If you spend, I believe, 10 USD on this battle pass, you get an extra 5 corridor keys for every single, corridor key thingy here, around 10 levels. So that is not a massive boost, like genuinely a massive boost. However, outside of that, you could also, because you're a low spender, have significantly more access to jades, which means you're much more willing to use those jades on the corridor keys in the exchange shop, which just gives you a massive lead. I've only been playing this game for 4 days, right? Literally today is my 4th day. I haven't really done all that much, and I have gotten 4 of Kisuke's core stamps. That is an insane rarity. Okay, it is insane. I have gotten 1 of Ichigo, and I've gotten 2 of Byakuya's. I also have a Yoruichi one. I also have a Sajin one, and I had another one which I recycled, I think Ikkaku's, because I know that I'm not going to use Ikkaku. And then I have 2 right here of Kaname, right? So I have like double to triple the amount of 6-star stamps as compared to the regular player, solely because I spent way more money, allowing me to grind a lot more. Now, this game isn't technically pay to win. You can still clear basically everything free to play. Like, it's not going to be an issue. It's just that the deals that this game gives, as compared to a lot of the gachas you may be used to, they're way better, right? They're way fucking better. Battle Pass gives a total of, I believe, near 15 limited pulls. It also gives you a free standard core stamp or ascension material if you want to only level up limited core stamps. And then you also get this massive amount of corridor keys, which really helps your progression. However, even outside of that, if we go over here, the monthly card is also stronger as compared to other games. Other games will give you about 2,700 jade, I believe, or 3,000 around there every single month, right? This one gives you 3,300 every single month, but also every single day it gives you spiritual power nourisher, which is basically just 60 energy, you know, the resin that you see in things like Genshin and other games that gives you this types of stuff. This is the equivalent, and you get one every single day, which massively helps progression in my opinion. You also have really good deals for packs over here. You have exceptional deals like this. This was 20 USD, and it gave 50 limited pulls worth for 20 USD, which is absolutely disgusting. However, what the other thing is, it gives you paid Jade if you buy some of this stuff, right? Now, Jade and paid Jade, you can technically use them as the same thing for limited banners, but the advantage that paid Jade has is that it can sometimes buy bundles over here, right? So this gives you a total of 42 limited pulls, and it gave you 8 limited pulls worth of paid Jade. And what you can do down here, this was, if I remember correctly, like 600 or 800 paid Jade, and this also gives around 40 standard pulls, including weapon and standard banner, right? Now, right now, that matters to me because it's the beginning of the game and the standard banner units are still, you know, meta, they're still good. And I've been able to take amazing advantage of this. As you can see, I have a copy to Kisuke. I got him 3 times in a row when I started the game. I have a Tosen. I have a Byakuya, right? So in total, that's 5 standard units. And this is considering I still haven't hit the 300 mark on the standard banner, because once you use 300 standard banner pulls, you can just select a character guaranteed that you want, right? So this game is genuinely phenomenal in terms of its systems as compared to the games that at least I am used to, right? It has a better energy system because they allow you to get a free 60 energy every day in a shop that resets. They have a better gacha system by an absolute mile. They have way lower max pity. I mean, the game is pretty solid, right? So the only thing really left for, you know, people to hear or to try is to actually play the game, right? See if you're actually someone who would enjoy this game. I'd recommend you play it yourself. I would put background gameplay here, but I am on an emulator, so the controls would be very wank and I just make a fool of myself, right? I'd say the gameplay isn't bad, right? I think it's actually better than a lot of mobile games. However, it's not exceptional if that's what you're looking for. And if you can get past that and simply enjoy the content there is, the story, the gameplay, the amazing systems that this game has for free to play, I'd say you would probably end up liking this game quite a bit, right? It is genuinely an extremely solid game, and I'd highly recommend it. Considering the gacha standards I have, I'd give it a 6 or 7 out of 10. No pun intended. The reason I'm giving it a 6 or 7 despite the praise is because currently it does have quite a few bugs with like EN translation. Story has missing content because there's been a bunch of bugs with that stuff going on. So there is some issues here and there. However, they did say they're working on, you know, fixing it bit by bit. And if they do end up fixing a majority of the issues, then I'd actually give this an 8 or 9 out of 10. Now, there is one thing that always comes with the territory of gacha games like this that seem very generous off the bat, right? Are they going to have very disgusting power creep, right? That we don't know. I can't answer that question. Game just started. This is literally the first character to ever release in the game, so I can't speak about this game's power creep. However, all we can do is hope that it's sustainable. Power creep is basically inevitable. However, if it's, you know, not too bad, then most free-to-plays and players are simply going to be able to deal with it incredibly well. Now, depending on how well received this video is, I may make more videos on this game because it has so much that I didn't talk about yet, because this video would be like an hour long. But yeah, Hope you all have a great day. Hope you have a great night. I recommend watching some videos, watching some trailers, trying this game yourself if you can. The only thing that sucks, it's not on PC, so you need to play it on mobile. But for most people, I'm sure that'll be fine for them. Love you all. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night. Peace out.